You're doing everything the wellness gurus tell you to. You cut the carbs, you switch to low fat, you track your macros, and you wave away the breadbasket, all in the name of being healthy. But what if all that struggle isn't just pointless? What if it's actually dangerous? What if the diet you believe is so good for you is secretly increasing your risk of a heart attack? It sounds backward, but a landmark study following over 80,000 people revealed a shocking link between these healthy dietary extremes and a higher risk of dying. In this video, we're breaking down what they found and what it really means for the food on your plate. For decades, we've been trapped in a nutritional tug-of-war. First, fat was the ultimate villain. Our shopping carts were filled with fat-free products that, to make them taste like anything, were pumped full of sugar. We were told that all fat was a one-way ticket to heart disease. Then the pendulum swung hard in the other direction. Suddenly, carbs were public enemy number one. Influencers screamed that bread, pasta, and even fruit were making us sick. Keto and paleo promised effortless weight loss, so millions jumped on board, swapping oatmeal for bacon, convinced we had finally found the secret. This whole narrative is powerful because it's simple. It gives us a clear bad guy to blame. It's either carbs or it's fat. Pick a side, and you'll be fine. That's the story we've been sold for years. But what if that whole story is built on a lie? What if a massive study of over 135,000 people found that these exact dietary extremes are linked to a higher risk of death? This isn't just a one-off finding, it's backed by a mountain of evidence. One major study in The Lancet, which followed 15,000 Americans for 25 years, found a clear U-shaped curve for mortality. People who ate very few carbs had a significantly higher risk of dying prematurely, but so did people who ate a very high amount of carbs. The sweet spot, the lowest risk of death, was right in the middle, for people getting 50 to 55% of their calories from carbohydrates. Then the massive international PURE study turned our nutritional world upside down. It found that high-carb diets were associated with a 28% higher risk of death. But, and this is the wild part, it also found that people with the highest fat intake actually had a 23% lower risk of death. The worst outcomes were in people eating the least amount of fat. So what is going on? How can both low-carb and low-fat be a lie? Let's look at the specifics. The Japanese study of over 81,000 people from Nagoya University is fascinating. Researchers found that men who ate less than 40% of their energy from carbs had a significantly higher risk of death from all causes, including cancer. For women, the risk was flipped. Those with a very high carbohydrate intake, over 65%, had a higher mortality risk. This might sound contradictory, but it all points to a more complex truth. It's not just about the amount of carbs or fat, it's about the quality and balance of your entire diet. And here's the real kicker. Many of these huge studies uncovered something startling. The risk of a low-carb diet depended entirely on what you replace those carbs with. When people swapped carbs for animal-based protein and fat, like red meat and cheese, their mortality risk shot up. This is the key that unlocks the whole puzzle. The influencer telling you to ditch carbs for butter and steak might be promoting a diet that leads to short-term weight loss, but the long-term data suggests it could be shortening your life. The key is to not replace nutrients, but your intake has to be balanced correctly, with high-quality single-ingredient foods. Having both animal and plant-based foods in your diet is a great balance. So why do these extreme diets fail us in the long run? It comes down to basic biology. When you severely restrict carbs, you're not just cutting out bread, you're also ditching nutrient-dense foods. You miss out on essential fiber, vitamins, and minerals from fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Fiber is critical for a healthy gut, which influences everything from your immune system to your mental health. Plus, your brain's favorite fuel is glucose from carbs, so cutting them too low can lead to brain fog and irritability. Now for the other extreme, the low-fat diet. We were taught fat was the villain, but your body needs it. It's essential for absorbing vitamins like A, D, E, and K, and it's crucial for producing hormones. Your brain itself is nearly 60% fat, and healthy fats like omega-3s are vital for it to work properly. The great irony of the low-fat craze is that it just made people eat more processed, sugar-filled foods to make up for the lack of flavor. This leads to one of the biggest myths in nutrition, that all carbs are the same. This is just wrong. There's a universe of difference between a can of soda and a bowl of lentils. One is refined sugar that spikes your blood glucose and offers zero nutrition. The other is a complex carbohydrate, packed with fiber and protein that gives you steady, slow-release energy, same with fruit and honey. Demonizing all carbs is like saying all buildings are bad because some are poorly built. You don't abandon buildings. You choose the well-made ones. The second myth that won't die is that a low-fat label means a food is good for you. When manufacturers take fat out of salad dressing, they pump it full of sugar, salt, and chemicals to make it taste good. The result is a food that's far worse for your metabolic health. Just like with carbs, the quality of the fat matters most. Trans fats are terrible, but the unsaturated fats from olive oil, avocados, and nuts are incredibly good for your heart and brain. The goal was never to cut out fat, but to choose the right kinds. So if low carb and low fat are both lies, what should we do? The answer is almost disappointingly simple. It's not going to sell a million diet books. The healthiest way to eat is a diet of balance, variety, and moderation. Here's what that looks like. First, stop fearing entire food groups. Carbs aren't the enemy. Fat isn't the enemy. The real enemy is nutrient-poor, ultra-processed junk. Second, focus on quality. Choose complex, high-fiber carbs like vegetables and beans. Choose healthy, unsaturated fats from nuts, seeds, and olive oil. Third, aim for that sweet spot. As the research shows, the lowest mortality risk is in the middle. Aim for roughly 50 to 55% of your energy from quality carbohydrates, with the rest from healthy fats and protein. You don't have to count every calorie, just be mindful of balance. Finally, be skeptical. The wellness world is full of radical claims. If a diet promises a quick fix or tells you to eliminate an entire food group, be wary. True health isn't built on extremes. It's built on consistent, balanced habits. The truth is, your healthy diet has been a lie if it's based on fear and extremism. Slashing carbs or cutting out fats, only to replace them with processed junk, is not the path to long-term health. The evidence strongly suggests it might be the exact opposite. So instead of falling for the next trend, let's get back to the boring but effective truth. Eat real food. Eat lots of different plants. Don't fear healthy fats or complex carbs, and listen to the huge body of scientific evidence, not the loudest influencer on your feed. What's been your experience with extreme diets? Have you tried going super low carb or low fat? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to keep cutting through the nutritional noise, make sure to check out this other video on a so-called health trend, which is methylene blue. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.